Been fucking recording. I've been here for fucking 3 minutes. I was here for like 3 minutes recording, and I didn't catch anything. I had this whole segment with my dog. I grabbed him and I slammed him on the bed. Don't call Peter on me. I didn't slam him hard. I just slammed him kind of difficult and shit like that. So today's video, we're gonna be talking about El Salvador and his president. Like, that's fucking country has a gender. Dumbass. About its president and how he's fucking on how he's handling the crime and gang violence in his country and his approach, and how, the crime has gone down from his recent, of his recent promises and legislation. So let's get into the video. Let me just get my shit up because this is my first fucking video of the day. Let's get it.
This rural community is now the focus of El Salvador's war on gangs. Thousands of soldiers are out on patrol, controlling access into and out of cabañas, searching and questioning anyone they find suspicious. A tattoo or anonymous tip is evidence enough to be hauled off to jail under El Salvador's year-and-a-half-long state of emergency. Last week, Congress passed a bill allowing up to 900 suspects to be tried together, causing outrage amongst human rights activists who say only around a third of those held in prison have links to gangs.
You can ask the people, the woman at her home, the one selling tortillas, the one selling pupusas. Ask them what they think of El Salvador, what they think of this government, what they think of this so-called dictatorship. Stop believing in people in an office far away from this country who don't even know it, talking about what they don't know.
The funny thing is that that's 100%. So you have a lot of these virtue signalers, people on the internet, Twitter, YouTubers, or even people in fucking office, or they were talking about human rights activists, saying that these guys are going to prison should be treated better and looked after. But it's like, you haven't lived in these countries. Like me being Latin American and I think I'm a first generation. Yeah, like hearing stories from my dad, because I'm half Salvadorian, half Dominican. A lot of people don't really know that, but the reason I identify more on my Dominican side is because I grew up in a really Dominican neighborhood, and if you hear my Spanish, it has a Dominican accent. Not being really in root with my Salvadorian side, even though I did spend time with my dad's side of the family, is just, I just don't really feel connected. But, my uncles and aunts have told me stories about when they grew up during the El Salvadorian Civil War. And I remember my father told me that he went to go play soccer or football. He told me there was this time when I think he was like 12 or 13, maybe 14. I don't remember. But he was young. He was pretty young, and he went about like I don't know if it was 3 miles away from his house or his neighborhood, and he went to go play with my uncle and a couple of his cousins, and they went by this beach or a lake, I think it was, and they were just there playing soccer all day. And they knew they would have to be home at a certain time because it gets dangerous during the night. But they're young guys, they're little boys and shit at the time, and they just wanted to play out for a little bit longer, you know what I'm saying? And by the time they left, it was already sundown, and they were walking down this like dirt trail all the way back to back to their house and shit like that. And there was a caravan or a bunch of trucks of this military people, and at the time, if you knew anything about this El Salvadoran Civil War, it was between the gang members, my dad called them guerrillas, and the military. If you were out at that time, regardless of age, you could be like 5 or something, they would assume you were a part of the gang. You know what I mean? There's no reason for you to be out that late, especially if you're a regular citizen, because you would just be scared out your mind. You would have to be in your house. And they were this close on killing my dad and all his friends, my uncles and his cousins, and they were gonna like execute him, like shoot him. But one of my dad's not my dad's, but one of my grandfather's friends, because my grandfather was in the military at the time, recognized my father and my uncle, and told him like, hey, wait, those are Domingo's kids. Don't, what I'm saying? Domingo's my grandfather's name. He's like, don't do anything. Like, these are actually, regular kids. And it's crazy to think about that. If my grandfather was in the military and he didn't have friends like that, I probably wouldn't be here.
The war against the MS-13 and 18th Street gangs was triggered by a particularly bloody weekend last year.
La verdad es que ninguno de los otros candidatos tiene los pantalones.
Despite the controversies, Bukele's tactics are proving contagious. Here, a presidential candidate in gang-ravaged Ecuador's elections installs a signal jammer outside a jail. In Guatemala, another candidate has promised to build a mega prison, just like Bukele. Bukele's consolidated power over the state of emergency, cutting the number of seats in Congress, packing courts with allies, pushing aside term limits so he can stand for president again in elections early next year. Elections he looks sure to win.
So anyways, do you guys think Bukele is doing something right, or do you think he's a crazy dictatorship? He's the next Fidel Castro, and we should be very, very careful? If not, comment down below, subscribe to the video, share, and if you guys want me to react to anything else, just you know what my Twitter is. It's gonna be in the description, or just comment down below in the comment section. And other than that, have a good day.